Well, hello everyone and happy Monday. It's digital host A.J. Wuest welcoming you back to Monday's version of Before the Four, the live stream where I talk about some of 48's top news stories and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast. Wherever you're watching Before the Four, wherever you're starting your week off, watching Before the Four today, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream. As always, I say it every day, I gotta thank you for watching and spending just a bit of your Monday afternoon here. Now, we have quite a bit to jump into today, so I say it's time we get the ball rolling and start things off. And let's begin in Coleman County and Hanceville, where Coleman County District Attorney Champ Crocker has released preliminary results into an audit of the Hanceville Police Department. The audit came from an investigation by the State Bureau of Investigations. Authorities say over 200 grams of meth was missing from the evidence room, along with an amount of cocaine, oxycodone, and a slew of other substances. 30 undocumented guns were also found. And you can see all those details from the audit on our website right now. Just go to WAFF.com. And tonight at 5, we'll stream the Hanceville City Council meeting right here, wherever you're watching Before the Four right now. But now a story out of Decatur with an update on former police officer Mac Marquette. Marquette now wants a Morgan County judge off his murder case in the Steve Perkins shooting death. Now on Friday, Marquette filed for a stay with the Alabama Court of Criminal Appeals. That filing shows Marquette's attorneys want Judge Charles Elliott to recuse himself. The filing with the appeals court alleges Elliott violated judicial ethics. Marquette is asking the appeals court to put all criminal proceedings in the murder case on hold until a ruling is made. And we'll continue to update you as soon as we learn more, both online and on air. But now let's talk about the weather for this week. It's definitely feeling good out there. I know some of you might be on spring break and you're just itching to get out there and enjoy some sunlight and of course the beautiful weather. But heading into the weekend, it is not looking as promising. But let's turn it over to 48 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis for a look at what to expect this week. Brad?
All right, we've got some active weather, some typical March weather, but there's two back-to-back upper air disturbances coming our way, and that's going to get in here late, very late Friday night into Saturday morning, and then again Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. So just keep checking back for updates on the timing. We do know it's a potent storm system, but we just don't know how big of an impact, if at all, both of these are going to have. We're pretty certain at least one of these will. It's possible that secondary one could move east. But again, 48 First Alert weather day now Saturday for the possibility of 2 rounds of strong to severe storms. Keep checking back for updates on this timing because it's still several days out. In between now and then, we've got this Thursday system that's going to come through and trigger a few afternoon storms. Nothing severe there, but some locally heavy rain and really just a big warm up out ahead of all this too. 80 degrees Friday. Friday begins a little breezy and then it gets windy out ahead of the main line of storms. It'll come in very early Saturday. So here's basically what we're dealing with. We've got a lot of rain. We're highly certain of rainfall, at least 3 inches, but some areas may get 5 inches, and the flooding threat will really start to increase if that secondary boundary moves in from the south as we get into Saturday afternoon. So Saturday, 2 rounds of strong to severe storms, a possibility, and that includes all modes of severe weather, and we talk about that. We mean damaging straight line winds, large hail, and tornadoes and flooding. So 1 a.m. to 7 a.m. early Saturday, and then again from noon to 10 p.m. as we get Saturday afternoon and Saturday evening. Here's a quick look at Friday night into Saturday morning. Round of some robust thunderstorms, very heavy rain, and we just don't know what the atmosphere is going to be set up like as we get into Saturday. We could get rain cooled. That would be the best thing, and then just have flash flooding, but it's possible the boundary could become unstable again and light up with more showers and storms. We'll keep you up to date throughout the week.
A Huntsville man is facing numerous charges after a shooting outside of 708 Bar and Grill. Now, Huntsville police officers responded to a shooting at 708 Poplar Avenue on Monday just after midnight. When officers arrived, they say they saw a large crowd and found 4 people all suffering from gunshot wounds. They were all taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Now, the suspect was later located at an apartment complex near Sparkman Drive. He was identified as 36-year-old Jarvis Jamison, who you're currently seeing on screen. Officials say Jamison became combative when officers and a canine unit was deployed. Jamison was apprehended and taken to the hospital for treatment. Officials say that while receiving medical treatment for the dog bite, Jamison spat on an officer. Jamison was charged with 4 counts of aggravated assault, assault with bodily fluid, harassment, and resisting arrest. Jamison is being held in the Madison County Jail on an over $120,000 bond. And 48's Callie Neese will have more on this situation coming up in our evening newscast. And now in Morgan County, where 6 were recently arrested in an anti-human trafficking operation. The Morgan County Sheriff's Office, along with the District Attorney's Office and Covenant Rescue Group, conducted the operation in Hartselle between March 6th and March 7th. During the operation, 6 people targeted and solicited who they thought were children 15 or younger, but were actually undercover law enforcement officers. When traveling to meet the child, they were met by undercover investigators instead and arrested. Officials say the 6 were found with profiles through online platforms, social media, and other online portals. Each of the suspects are being held in the Morgan County Jail without bond, and they will have an Aniah's Law hearing to determine their bond. But now a story from 48 Sarah Grace Kennedy. Madison Academy school officials are hoping for Senate Bill 4 to be signed into law. The law will allow private schools to hire school resource officers, or SROs. Sarah Grace with the details.
My experience with SROs has always been positive, so certainly I think that's something that we would look into.
Mark Mincher, who is the assistant principal of Madison Academy, is hoping Senate Bill 4 will be signed into law.
We're pleased with what we currently have, but I think adding SROs would just kind of take us to the next level.
Mincher tells me school leaders will need to study and see if they can hire an SRO, since they would have to pay for the deputy's salary and benefits. Mincher has also seen the difference school resource officers can provide in a school firsthand.
I've spent years in public school, and so I've been in schools that have SROs, and they don't just provide extra security. They provide additional resources.
Robbie Parker, who's the incoming head of Lindsay Lane Academy, says he would want to wait before making any possible school security changes.
I think that would certainly be a positive, but I think that the key to any security force is being visible and being trained, and I feel very comfortable right now with our security force here at Lindsay Lane.
And now a story in case you missed it out of Huntsville. On Friday morning, a hit-and-run suspect was handed over to ICE by agents of the Drug Enforcement Agency. 48's Nick Ballinger with the story.
This man, Manuel Rudisell, is charged in a hit-and-run involving alcohol from Tuesday night on Research Park Boulevard. Shortly after his arrest, police learned he's an undocumented immigrant. So this morning, he was taken from the Madison County Jail and handed over to ICE by agents from the Drug Enforcement Administration.
In the past, we've always been a Title 21 Drug Enforcement Administration and enforcing drug laws only.
DEA Special Agent Stephen Hofer says after this January Department of Homeland Security memo, the DEA can now operate in new ways.
That gives us the opportunity to now have that authority to assist and be with our partners at HSI to enforce immigration law.
The change, referred to as Operation Return to Sender, allows ICE to ask U.S. Marshals, BOP, ATF, and DEA agents for help locating and detaining undocumented immigrants, skipping federal government approval.
It's about public safety. And when there are people that are committing crimes and they're in the neighborhood and ICE or the state or local facilities need our assistance, DEA is going to be there.
The New Orleans division of the DEA, which oversees 4 states, has helped find more than 200 undocumented immigrants since the operation's inception 6 weeks ago. 18 were located in the Huntsville area.
The leaders of all the different federal agencies in the Huntsville area came together and knew that we needed to be on the same page. And so every week we know we get together and figure out where each agency can best help to support the HSI mission.
Well, now coming up after the break, things didn't go the way they wanted yesterday, but the UNA Lions basketball fandom remained strong. 48's Noah Cowell was at yesterday's watch party at Mugshots. Hear from fans as they recap the Lions' historic season. The 60-year anniversary of Bloody Sunday, the latest on the death of Gene Hackman and, of course, his wife, and finally, the 48th annual Ellen McNally St. Patrick's Day parade is happening this weekend, and those are just a few of the stories coming up. It's all ahead. I'll see you all in 1 minute. Well, hello and welcome back to Before the Four. Mugshots in downtown Florence held a watch party yesterday for the ASUN Tournament Championship game between the North Alabama Lions and the Lipscomb Bisons. 48's Noah Cowell spoke with fans yesterday who say although the Lions fell short, they are still proud of the season they had, and they could still receive a bid to the NIT. Take a listen.
The University of North Alabama may not be a national basketball powerhouse, but the fans showed up in a big way today in Nashville and here at Mugshots. Now, the game didn't end the way the Lion faithful wanted, but what this team accomplished this season will stay with these fans for a long time.
Mugshots in downtown Florence has been the site for many UNA basketball watch parties this season, but none were more important than today's.
Nothing has happened like this in a really long time here, so it's a big deal for us.
Small D1 school going into March Madness and us being a part of it.
And making it as far as they have is really good. We're very happy for them.
Yes.
From start to finish, North Alabama and Lipscomb's battle for the conference championship was an emotional roller coaster. UNA went down double digits early, but clawed its way back to take the lead, pulling the fans back into the fight. Most of them couldn't take their eyes off the screen, their emotions swinging every time the lead changed hands. They knew what was at stake.
I was at the table stressing. I didn't move for about 5 or 10 minutes afterwards because I just know what a cool thing that is for a university and for those guys who work so hard.
Down the stretch, Lipscomb pulled away, and there wasn't much left to cheer for. Lions fans watched as their magical season fell one win shy of history, but they all left the restaurant with their heads held high.
Oh boy, did those guys do it. The last 2 weeks have been so incredibly exciting, and today we didn't get the win, but as I said, I'm just really proud of them. And more Lions!
More Lions!
More Lions!
Let's go!
Yes, sir.
UNA lost its chance to go dancing on the big stage, but its season may not be over just yet. The Lions may get the chance to compete in the NIT. If so, expect more watch parties here at Mugshots in the near future, with fans ready to cheer their Lions on until the end. Reporting in Florence, Noah Cowell, 48 News, on your side.
Now, despite the cold and despite the rain that fell in Selma, Alabama yesterday, the overall mood for the marchers making their way across the Edmund Pettus Bridge was one of unity, hope, and freedom. Maya Caleb has details.
Each year, foot soldiers and civil rights advocates cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge to commemorate the horrific events of Bloody Sunday.
There was a speaker yesterday that said that this was almost like Mecca, and it does feel like a pilgrimage to Mecca, the civil rights movement Mecca, of where our ancestors laid down some of the ultimate sacrifices for us.
It's been 60 years, but marchers feel as if there's still more work to do.
We still are fighting for voting rights. We're still trying to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, and that's what this weekend is all about, is getting voting rights and breaking down those barriers that we face still in 2025.
And they say the key is educating the youth.
Well, see, that's why we got to continue to educate and motivate these young people. That's been my whole essence, because even the Selma movement, Birmingham movement, it wouldn't have survived the freedom ride sit-ins without young people.
This is what democracy looks like! To set them up for success while passing the torch.
We got individuals trying to erase our history, trying to keep our children, from knowing where they came from, but marches like this have to continue to get on, because we can't cure racism, we can't cure prejudice if we don't uncover the problem.
Freedom songs and hope filling the air as marchers cross the Edmund Pettus, determined to someday overcome.
Now, staying in state news, Governor Kay Ivey is weighing in on President Trump's plan to cut funding going to research universities in the state, including UAB. Brady Talbert with WBRC with the latest.
Well, I'm sure it'll have an impact, but we'll just keep watching the situation, and we'll do the very best we can.
Governor Kay Ivey says she's monitoring the potential effects of federal cuts to research programs in our state. UAB got almost $500 million from NIH in 2023. The university says these cuts would affect research for diseases and disorders like cancer, Alzheimer's, stroke, Parkinson's, heart disease, and diabetes. In February, a UAB spokesperson saying, drastically lowering NIH indirect cost recovery jeopardizes life-saving research, and it would also result in job and economic loss in Birmingham and Alabama. That's why patients and researchers protested in the Magic City on Friday.
If UAB hurts, then Birmingham hurts, and Alabama hurts.
While Alabamians wait to see what happens, the governor remains steadfast in her support of President Trump.
We'll wait and see if, in fact, it impacts Alabama, but I support President Trump's initiative and his efforts to make government less costly and small.
And now to the latest on the death of Gene Hackman, along with his longtime wife and their dog. New Mexico officials revealing the couple both died of natural causes, but 1 week apart. The tragic details bringing some closure to the case, but there are still questions left unanswered. Liz Kreutz has been following this story and joins us from LA with the latest.
This morning, heartbreaking details emerging about the final week of Gene Hackman's life. Authorities revealing the legendary 95-year-old actor died of heart disease, complicated by advanced Alzheimer's, after being alone for several days after his wife and caregiver, Betsy Arakawa, died first of an unrelated rare virus in their Santa Fe home.
I can tell you that he was in an advanced state of Alzheimer's, and it's quite possible that he was not aware that she was deceased.
The medical investigator on the case now saying an autopsy of Hackman's 65-year-old wife shows she died of hantavirus, a disease linked to rodents and found in rural areas of the Southwest, including New Mexico. The virus can cause respiratory failure in some cases.
A person can die very quickly, within 24 to 48 hours, roughly speaking, without medical treatment.
Officials now piecing together Arakawa and Hackman's final days. Investigators believe Arakawa died on or around February 11th, citing her final email communication that morning. Hackman's pacemaker indicates he died 7 days later on February 18th, though their bodies were not discovered for another 8 days on February 26th by a maintenance worker.
Do you believe, given his Alzheimer's status, that Mr. Hackman was able to live on his own and survive for those 7 days?
I'm not aware of what his normal daily functioning capability was. He was in a very poor state of health. He had significant heart disease, and I think ultimately that is what resulted in his death.
What about starvation?
There was no food in his stomach, which means he had not eaten recently, but he had also no evidence of dehydration.
The couple of more than 3 decades were a private pair, Hackman drawn to the quiet Santa Fe life, something he even alluded to in an unplanned TV appearance he made on Guy Fieri's food show in 2008, which happened to be filming at his favorite diner.
Nobody pays the attention, you know.
Just gotta cruise in until we come dragging our cameras.
But as Hackman aged and battled Alzheimer's, he relied increasingly on his wife's care. It appears tragically until her final breath.
Well, now it's about that time of the year again. Bring out the green, that nice shamrock attire, because the Ellen McNally Memorial St. Patrick's Day Parade, it's coming back to town for the 48th year. That's right, this Saturday starting at 11 through downtown Huntsville, the Sea of Green will return. Last Friday, I got the chance to speak with Sonny Herford and Lisa Bollinger for 48 Now about this year's parade and about Ellen McNally herself. Take a listen.
He still does all our meetings, and he's our historian and takes care to make sure that we do all of Ellen's traditions and do the parade the way that she wanted it, because he knew Ellen.
Right. I worked with Ellen for many of those years. Until her unfortunate passing. I worked with her on the parade. So, yeah, I'm in charge of protocol, if you will, and making sure that we honor the traditions.
Yes, absolutely. Talk about Ellen as a person. Like, how was she in your experience?
Oh, she was wonderful. She was so easy to work with. She was from Galway, Ireland. And, of course, opened Finnegan's Pub in 1977. And the first St. Patrick's Day Parade here was 1978.
Yes.
Now, I started the Notre Dame Club of Northern Alabama in '92, and I thought the Fighting Irish should be in the St. Patrick's Day Parade. So '93 was my first year of being involved. And then, unfortunately, the fellow who was organizing the parade back then passed away in '95, I believe it was. But '96, Ellen asked me to take over the parade. I was the only one who brought a laptop to the meeting, so she assumed that I was organized. So I ran it from '96 through 2011. And the Irish Society was formed, I believe, in 2010.
Yes.
And so I went to them, I said, you guys should be doing this, and they were glad. They were looking for a signature project anyway. So I turned it over to them, and they've been running it since 2012, the Irish Society of North Alabama.
Yes, the St. Patrick's Day Parade, it's coming to downtown Huntsville again. I remember I was here at the station working during last year's St. Patrick's Day Parade, but I remember seeing videos and photos of all the festive activities going on, and I had some severe FOMO. I had fear of missing out going on there because I wanted to be at the parade. And fortunately, this year, this Saturday, I am off so I can enjoy it. But Brad is not making me feel very optimistic right now about the parade when he mentioned the rain and the storms that might be coming in on Saturday. Hopefully we are able to get it and the weather holds off, but you can find that full 48 Now interview. Just go to WAFF.com. You'll go to digital shows and then 48 Now. But yes, it is going to be an incredible time without a doubt. Make sure you wear the green, bring a penny farthing bike if you want to really get into it for sure this holiday season, but it is going to be a blast without a doubt. But now let's head into the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscast. The latest on the murder trial of Keith Sullivan in DeKalb County. 48 Savannah Sapp will have everything that went down today in court. Also, the murder trial of Kevin Deloney in the Shoals. 48's Faith Delp will have those details coming up. And then following up on 7 arrested in Lauderdale County for selling THC products to minors. And these are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss coming up in our evening newscasts. And if you are an avid Before the 4 watcher, you already know what time it is. And what time is it? It is, of course, time for Facebook fun. That's right, our 48 Facebook question of the day today. I'm looking for recommendations. I'm looking to try some new restaurants here in North Alabama, here across the Tennessee Valley. What is your favorite restaurant in the Tennessee Valley? That is what I want to know, and let's see what you all had to say. Francis said Mildred's in Ardmore, Alabama. I have actually been to that one. It is one of my dad, if my dad's watching right now, it's one of his favorite restaurants. When he comes up to visit me, he's always talking, we got to go to Mildred's. Mildred's, great southern buffet right there. Great fried chicken, fried okra, green beans, all that good stuff. It's at Mildred's. So make sure you head on out there and tell them that AJ sent you. Awesome. And now Lynn said Bama Bucks. That is one that I've been wanting to try. Definitely have wanted to try some Bama Bucks for a while now. Yeah, I'll need to try it out. Lynn, thank you so much for the recommendation. Let's see. Kim said the Thirsty Turtle, best burger in town. And I heard a few people comment the Thirsty Turtle. I saw a few of y'all's comments today. I'm going to have to try this burger. The best burger in town, that's definitely no joke. You definitely got to try it if it's the best burger in town. Kim, thank you so much for commenting. And then Mary, she gave an entire list of awesome restaurants here in the Tennessee Valley. And if you're watching at home right now, feel free to screenshot this because Mary Love, she has the recommendations without a doubt. Definitely looking to try some new places. Mazza Pizza, one of them. Big Spring Cafe. Still haven't been there yet. Melt, I've heard that place is really good as well. So I will be taking some of your recommendations. Thank you so much, Mary. Appreciate it. And then Eddie Wise, he said Taco Bell and Waffle House. Those are the two best restaurants here in the Tennessee Valley, Eddie. And you know, sometimes it's just like that. You got to get a chalupa or a crunch wrap. Sometimes that is the way to go. We're an all-star special at Waffle House. Could not go wrong with that. Eddie, thank you so much for commenting. And everyone who commented on today's 48 Facebook question of the day, thank you so much for commenting. It always makes my day seeing what you all have to say, without a doubt. But that's just about all she wrote for today's Before the Four. I want to thank you all for sticking around with me, spending a bit of your Monday afternoon here watching Before the Four. If you haven't done so already, make sure you download the 48 digital app, the 48 First Alert Weather app, and the 48 Sports Zone app. If you turn those push notifications on, you will never miss a breaking news story. But that is it for today. But of course, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you all have a great night.